Commander Tae-ho stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel New Seoul and watched the stars through the main window. The ship moved slowly through space toward the mining colony of New Busan. It was his first deep space mission as commander, and he felt proud. The year 2157 had brought many good things for humanity. They had built their first colonies far from Earth, and mining operations were going well. His second officer, Dong Min, walked up to him with a data pad. The young man looked excited about something. Tae-ho took the pad and read the information. 3 strange ships had appeared near New Busan yesterday. The colony had tried to contact them but got no answer. The ships just sat there in space doing nothing. Tae-ho felt curious about these ships. Humanity had never met other intelligent life before. If these were aliens, then this would change everything. He ordered his crew to increase speed toward New Busan. The journey would take 6 hours, but Tae-ho could not wait to see what they would find. Dr. Hee-jin worked in her laboratory on the research station Harmony. The station orbited a gas giant 3 light-years from New Busan. She studied alien life forms but had never found anything more complex than simple bacteria. Her life work focused on finding intelligent aliens somewhere in the galaxy. That morning, her assistant ran into the lab with urgent news. The deep space sensors had detected unknown ships near New Busan. The ships used technology that human scientists had never seen before. The energy signatures were completely different from human ships. Hye-jin felt her heart beat faster. This could be the discovery she had dreamed about her whole life. She immediately started recording everything the sensors detected. The alien ships were beautiful and sleek. Their hulls seemed to be made of some kind of crystal material that reflected light in strange ways. They moved with perfect grace through space. Hye-jin counted 3 ships total. Each one was about twice the size of a human cruiser. Captain Min-soo commanded the defense corvette Incheon. His ship patrolled the space around New Busan to protect the mining operations. When the alien ships first appeared, he had been ordered to stay back and observe. The colony leaders wanted to try peaceful contact first. Min-soo respected the orders but felt nervous about the situation. His ship carried weapons, but they were designed to fight human pirates and criminals. He had no idea if they would work against alien technology. His crew of 45 men and women were brave, but they had never fought aliens before. The alien ships had been silent for 2 days now. They just floated in space near the colony, without moving or responding to any messages. Min-soo could see them clearly on his sensors. They looked dangerous even while doing nothing. On New Busan colony, Governor Jae-sung tried one more time to contact the alien ships. He sent messages in every human language and even tried mathematical signals. The colony had 20,000 people, including miners, farmers, and their families. Everyone was scared but also excited about meeting aliens for the first time. The governor stood in the communication center with his staff. They had been trying to reach the aliens for 3 days without success. Some people thought the aliens were friendly and just shy. Others worried that they might be hostile. Jae-sung tried to stay calm and positive for his people. Then everything changed in one terrible moment. The alien ship suddenly moved with incredible speed. Bright energy beams shot out from their weapons. The beams were not like anything humans had ever seen. They looked like streams of liquid fire that burned through space itself. The first beam hit the colony's main power station. The entire building disappeared in a flash of white light. The second beam destroyed the spaceport where civilian ships were trying to take off. Hundreds of people died instantly. The third beam targeted the residential areas where families lived. Commander Tae-ho watched in horror as his sensors showed the attack. The New Seoul was still 2 hours away from New Busan, but he could see the energy signatures of the alien weapons. The power levels were beyond anything humans could produce. His hands shook as he ordered his crew to increase speed to maximum. Dr. Hee-jin saw the attack through her station's long-range sensors. The readings showed massive energy discharges and then silence. She tried to contact New Busan, but got no response. The colony's communication systems were gone. Tears ran down her face as she realized what was happening. These aliens were not peaceful explorers. They were killers. Captain Min-soo reacted instantly when the attack began. He ordered his ship forward at full speed toward the colony. His weapons were already charged and ready. He knew his small corvette could not defeat 3 alien warships, but he had to try. 20,000 innocent people needed help. The Incheon reached New Busan in 15 minutes. What Min-Soo saw there made him sick. The beautiful colony was gone. In its place were burning ruins and floating debris. Bodies drifted in space where the residential domes had been. The aliens had not just destroyed buildings. They had murdered everyone they could find. But some people were still alive. Min-Soo's sensors detected life signs in the emergency shelters deep underground. The aliens were now sending smaller ships down to the surface. These ships carried soldiers who were hunting for survivors. Min-Soo realized the aliens wanted to kill every human they could find. He made a quick decision. The Incheon could not fight 3 warships, but it could rescue survivors. Min-Soo ordered his crew to prepare for emergency evacuation. They would land near the underground shelters and get as many people out as possible. The rescue operation was dangerous and difficult. Alien soldiers were everywhere on the surface. They wore advanced armor and carried energy weapons. They moved through the ruins of the colony like hunters looking for prey. Min-Soo's crew had to fight their way to the shelters while loading survivors onto their ship. Lieutenant Soo-jin led the rescue teams on the ground. She was amazed by how cruel the aliens were. They had not just bombed the colony from orbit. They had landed soldiers to hunt down every survivor they could find. Women and children were killed without mercy. The aliens seemed to enjoy the hunting and killing. After 6 hours of fighting, Min-Soo managed to save 2,000 people. His ship was damaged and overcrowded, but it could still fly. The aliens had stopped trying to stop the rescue. They seemed satisfied with destroying the colony and killing most of the people. The Incheon limped away from New Busan carrying the survivors and terrible news. Dr. Hye-jin continued recording everything her sensors could detect. She watched the alien ships finish their work and then move away from New Busan. They headed deeper, into human space toward other colonies. She realized this was not just an attack on one colony. This was the beginning of something much worse. She immediately sent her data to Earth through the fastest communication channels available. Human leaders needed to know what was coming. The aliens had not tried to communicate or negotiate. They had simply arrived and started killing. Humanity was facing an enemy that saw them as nothing more than targets to destroy. Commander Tai Ho arrived at New Busan 12 hours too late. The alien ships were gone, and the colony was dead. He ordered his crew to search for survivors but found none except the ones Min-Soo had already rescued. The new Seoul had sensors that could analyze the alien weapon signatures. The readings were terrifying. The aliens had used some kind of plasma technology that was far beyond human science. Their ships were faster and more powerful than anything humanity could build. Worst of all, they had shown no interest in communication or peace. They had come to destroy and nothing else. As the human ships gathered at the ruins of New Busan, they all realized the same thing. Humanity had just met their first alien species, and those aliens wanted them dead. The war had already begun, and humans were losing badly. 20,000 people had died without warning or reason. But this was only the beginning of the horror that was coming. Admiral Kyung-soo stood in the war room deep inside Earth's military headquarters. The holographic display showed 12 human colonies under attack. Red marks indicated where alien ships had appeared. Each red mark meant thousands of dead civilians. The aliens moved through human space like a plague, destroying everything they touched. The reports came in every hour, and each one was worse than the last. New Jeju Colony had fallen after 6 hours of fighting. The mining station at Alpha Centauri was gone completely. Even the research outpost at Wolf 359 had been destroyed despite having no military value at all. Kyung-soo had been fighting wars for 30 years, but this was different. Human weapons could barely scratch the alien ships. Their energy shields absorbed missile explosions and laser fire like they were nothing. Meanwhile, alien plasma beams cut through the strongest human armor like paper. Lieutenant Soo-young led the marine defense of New Jeju before it fell. She had 800 trained soldiers under her command. They had prepared defensive positions and heavy weapons. None of it mattered when the aliens came. The alien ground troops landed in sleek dropships that human anti-aircraft guns could not damage. The soldiers inside wore armor that looked like it was made of living metal. Their weapons fired beams of pure energy that melted through concrete walls and steel barriers. Su Young watched her best Marines die in seconds when they tried to fight the aliens directly. The energy weapons did not just kill, they completely destroyed the human body, leaving nothing behind but ash and smoke. Her soldiers were brave, but they could not fight enemies who had such powerful technology. The worst part was how the aliens behaved during the battle. They did not just kill soldiers. They targeted civilian evacuation centers and medical stations. They seemed to enjoy hunting down unarmed people and burning them alive with their weapons. Su Young had never seen such cruelty before. She managed to evacuate 3,000 civilians before the colony fell completely. Her own escape was narrow and desperate. The aliens had surrounded the last transport ship and were closing in when human reinforcements finally arrived. But the reinforcements could only buy time for evacuation. They could not stop the alien advance. Engineer Jin Woo worked at the orbital shipyard above Mars when the aliens attacked the Sol system itself. He watched through the observation windows as human warships tried to defend Earth's home system. The battle was completely one-sided from the beginning. The human fleet included 12 cruisers and 40 smaller ships. They had nuclear missiles, particle beam weapons, and electromagnetic railguns. These weapons had been designed to fight human enemies, and they worked well against human technology. But the alien ships moved like they were dancing through space. Their shields glowed bright blue when human weapons hit them but took no damage. The alien return fire was devastating. Single shots from their plasma cannons destroyed entire human ships. Jin Woo counted 15 human vessels destroyed in the first 10 minutes of fighting. The aliens had only brought 6 ships to attack the Sol system. 6 ships against 52 human vessels. But technology made the difference. Human weapons were primitive compared to alien science. The battle became a massacre as alien ships picked off human vessels one by one. Jin Woo tried to help by sending construction mechs to rescue survivors from damaged ships. The mechs were not military vehicles, but they could carry people to safety. He managed to save almost 200 humans from destroyed vessels before the aliens noticed his activities. When the alien ships turned their attention to the shipyard, Jin Woo knew he was going to die. The plasma beams that destroyed military cruisers would certainly destroy a civilian construction facility. But somehow, his shipyard survived the attack. Perhaps the aliens did not see it as a military target worth their attention. President Yoon Ha addressed the Earth Parliament as refugee ships arrived from the destroyed colonies. The ships brought terrible stories of alien cruelty and efficiency. Every survivor had seen family members or friends killed by the alien invaders. The numbers were horrific beyond belief. New Busan had lost 20,000 people. New Jeju had 45,000 dead. Alpha Centauri mining station had 12,000 workers who were all killed. The research outpost at Wolf 359 had only 800 people, but the aliens had destroyed it anyway. Yunha tried to give people hope, but she knew the truth was grim. Humanity had encountered an enemy that was technologically superior in every way. Human weapons could not penetrate alien shields. Human ships were too slow to escape alien attacks. Human armor offered no protection against alien energy weapons. The worst part was that the aliens showed no interest in communication or negotiation. Human diplomats had tried every possible way to contact them. Mathematical signals, pictures, music, even surrendering colonies had been offered. The aliens ignored all attempts at peaceful contact and continued killing. Colonel Daeun commanded the moon-based defense when the aliens finally attacked Earth's satellite. The base had 2,000 military personnel and 5,000 civilian researchers and their families. It was supposed to be one of the most secure locations in human space. The alien attack on Moonbase came without warning, just like all their other strikes. 3 alien ships appeared and immediately began bombing the surface installations. The base's defensive systems tried to fight back, but their missiles and laser cannons had no effect on the alien shields. Daeun ordered all civilians to the deep. emergency shelters while her soldiers tried to buy time. The moon base had been built to survive asteroid impacts and nuclear attacks. The shelters were buried deep in solid rock and protected by the strongest materials humanity could produce. But alien weapons were beyond anything human engineers had planned for. The plasma beams melted through rock like it was ice. The protective barriers that should have lasted for hours were destroyed in minutes. Dayun realized that nowhere was safe from these aliens. As the base fell around her, Dayun managed to send one final message to Earth. The communication was short and desperate. She told the listeners that the aliens were not just killing humans. They were enjoying the process. They took time to hunt down civilians who were trying to hide. They seemed to view humans as animals that existed only to be destroyed. The message cut off when alien soldiers broke into the command center. Earth never received another transmission from Moonbase. All 7,000 people there were dead within 6 hours of the attack beginning. Dr. Hyejin worked frantically at her research station, trying to understand the alien technology. Her sensors had recorded data from every attack, and she studied it constantly, looking for any weakness or pattern. The information painted a picture of an enemy far beyond human capability. The alien ships used some form of crystalline technology that humans barely understood. Their weapons drew power from sources that produced more energy than human fusion reactors. Their shields could absorb incredible amounts of damage without failing. But Hyejin also noticed some interesting details. In the sensor data, the alien ships always attacked in the same formation. They used identical tactics at every colony. Their plasma weapons had consistent power signatures that suggested specific technology rather than magical abilities. Most importantly, the aliens themselves were biological creatures, not machines. The sensor readings showed life signs aboard their ships. They breathed atmosphere and had body temperatures. They could be hurt and killed if humans could find the right weapons and tactics. Yejin sent her analysis to Earth Military Command with a simple message. The aliens were advanced but not invincible. Their technology followed scientific laws just like human technology. If humanity could understand how their weapons and shields worked, then countermeasures might be possible. But first, humanity had to survive long enough to develop those countermeasures. The aliens were moving through human space, destroying everything they found. They had already killed more than 3 million people in 2 months. At this rate, the entire human race would be extinct within a year. The alien commander Vextal reviewed the battle reports from his flagship. His forces had destroyed 15 human colonies without losing a single ship. The humans fought bravely, but their technology was primitive and ineffective. This campaign was proceeding exactly as planned. The Velkari Empire had been expanding through the galaxy for thousands of years. They had encountered hundreds of primitive species, and the humans were no different. Some species tried to fight while others attempted diplomacy. None of it ever mattered because the Velkari were simply superior. Vextal found humans particularly annoying because they refused to accept their fate quietly. Most primitive species surrendered quickly once they realized the hopelessness of their situation. But humans kept fighting even when their weapons had no effect and their colonies were burning around them. Still, the outcome was never in doubt. The human military was being destroyed systematically. Their colonies were falling one by one. Soon there would be no more human ships to oppose Velkari expansion. The galaxy would be cleaner without these primitive creatures polluting it with their presence. Vextal ordered his fleet to continue advancing toward the human home system. Earth contained billions of these creatures, and destroying it would require more ships and time. But the result would be the same as always. The Velkari Empire Dr. Hyejin had not slept for 6 days straight. Her laboratory on Earth had become the center of Project Nemesis. The walls were covered with diagrams of alien ship designs and weapon systems. Every surface held pieces of alien technology that had been recovered from battle sites. The breakthrough came when her team analyzed debris from a damaged alien fighter. The crystalline hull material looked impossible to damage, but Hyejin discovered it had a fatal weakness. When exposed to a specific frequency of electromagnetic radiation, the crystal structure became unstable and shattered. Her assistant Bongsu brought her coffee and more data from the latest battle. The aliens had destroyed another colony, But this time human ships had managed to damage one enemy vessel before being destroyed. The wreckage contained technology that no human had ever seen before. Hyejin studied the alien equipment with growing excitement. Their energy shields worked by creating a barrier of charged particles around their ships. Human weapons could not penetrate these barriers because they were designed to fight solid armor. But the shields had limits and weaknesses that could be exploited. The most important discovery came from analyzing alien bodies recovered from crash sites. The aliens breathed a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere similar to humans, but their lungs were extremely sensitive to certain chemical compounds. A biological weapon could be designed that would kill aliens while being harmless to human life. Hyejin worked 18 hours a day developing countermeasures for every aspect of alien technology. Her team included the best scientists from every human colony that still existed. They had lost families and friends to the alien invasion, and now they channeled their grief into deadly research. Chief Engineer Jin Woo supervised the construction of new human weapons at the Mars Orbital Shipyard. The facility had been expanded to 3 times its original size. Every available resource in the solar system was being directed toward military production. The new weapons were designed specifically to fight alien technology. Instead of traditional missiles, humans now built electromagnetic pulse warheads that could disrupt alien shields. The pulse weapons used the frequency weakness that Dr. Hyejin had discovered in the alien hull materials. Jin Woo also oversaw construction of new ship designs. Human vessels had been too slow and lightly armored to fight aliens effectively. The new ships sacrificed comfort and appearance for speed and firepower. Every available space was packed with weapons and shield generators. The most innovative design was the stealth frigate. These ships used electromagnetic dampening fields to hide from alien sensors. They could approach enemy vessels undetected and deliver devastating surprise attacks. Jin Woo personally supervised construction of the first dozen stealth ships. The shipyard operated continuously with 3 shifts of workers building weapons around the clock. Everyone involved had lost people to the alien attacks. The workers volunteered for overtime shifts and refused to take breaks. Their anger and determination drove them to work harder than any human facility had ever operated before. Special Forces Commander Min-Soo trained the new Human Liberation Corps at a secret facility in the asteroid belt. These soldiers were different from traditional human military units. They were survivors from destroyed colonies who had nothing left to lose except their desire for revenge. The training was brutal and unforgiving. Soldiers learned to use captured alien weapons and armor. They practiced fighting in zero gravity and hostile environments. Most importantly, they learned to think like their enemy and exploit alien weaknesses. Min-Soo had seen firsthand how aliens fought during the defense of New Busan. The enemy was overconfident and followed predictable tactics. They viewed humans as primitive animals who could not pose a real threat. That overconfidence would be their downfall when humans started fighting back properly. The Liberation Corps trained with live ammunition and real combat scenarios. Soldiers who made mistakes died during training. Only the most skilled and determined humans survived to join operational units. Every graduate was capable of killing dozens of aliens in single combat. The psychological conditioning was as important as the physical training. Human soldiers were taught to view aliens as deadly parasites that had to be exterminated completely. There would be no prisoners taken, and no mercy shown. The aliens had started a war of extinction, and humans would finish it. Dr. Dong Hyun led the breakthrough research into faster-than-light communication systems. Humanity needed to coordinate military operations across dozens of star systems simultaneously. The old communication networks were too slow and unreliable for modern warfare. His team developed quantum entanglement communication arrays that could send messages instantly across any distance. The technology required exotic materials and enormous amounts of power, but it worked perfectly. Human military units could now coordinate attacks in real time across the entire galaxy. The communication breakthrough also allowed intelligence gathering on an unprecedented scale. Human agents infiltrating alien-controlled territories could send detailed reports back to Earth immediately. Military commanders received up-to-date information about enemy positions and plans within minutes of events occurring. Dong Hyun's proudest Achievement was the early warning network that surrounded human space. Thousands of sensor platforms watched for alien ships and automatically alerted defense forces when enemies approached. Humans would never again be caught off guard by surprise attacks. Captain Yu Jin commanded the first of the new human warships to roll out of the Mars shipyard. The vessel was called Retribution, and it represented everything humanity had learned about fighting aliens. The ship was fast, heavily armed, and equipped with the latest stealth technology. The Retribution's first mission was to test human weapons against real alien targets. Yu Jin took her ship to the ruins of New Jeju Colony, where alien salvage teams were still working. The aliens had returned to strip valuable materials from the world they had destroyed. The stealth approach worked perfectly. Alien sensors could not detect the Retribution until it was close enough to launch a surprise attack. The new electromagnetic pulse missiles completely disabled the alien shields. Conventional weapons then destroyed 2 enemy ships before they could respond to the threat. But the most satisfying moment came when human Marines boarded the third alien vessel. The enemy crew was captured alive and taken back to Earth for interrogation and study. For the first time in the war, humans had defeated aliens in direct combat and taken prisoners. Yu Jin felt savage pleasure watching alien prisoners being loaded into human prison cells. These creatures had killed millions of innocent humans, including her own family on New Jeju. Now they would learn what it felt like to be helpless and at the mercy of a superior enemy. The success of the Retribution mission proved that human countermeasures were effective. More importantly, it showed that aliens were not invincible gods of war. They could be surprised, outfought, and defeated by humans who were properly equipped and trained for battle. Admiral Kyung-soo reviewed intelligence reports about alien fleet movements in his war room on Earth. The enemy had become more cautious after losing ships to human counterattacks. They no longer sent small groups to attack isolated colonies. Instead, they concentrated their forces for major assaults. This change in alien tactics was exactly what human planners had hoped for. Large enemy fleets were easier to track and target than scattered raiders. The new sensor networks provided advance warning of alien movements. Human forces could prepare ambushes and traps for enemy fleets. Kyung-soo was particularly pleased by reports from human infiltration teams operating behind alien lines. These special forces units used captured alien equipment to move freely through enemy territory. They gathered intelligence, sabotaged alien facilities, and rescued human prisoners. The psychological impact of these operations was enormous. Aliens who had viewed humans as helpless prey were now being hunted in their own territory. Human agents appeared without warning to destroy alien installations and disappear before reinforcements could arrive. Most importantly, the infiltration. Missions proved that humans could operate effectively in alien environments. Human soldiers could use alien technology, speak basic alien languages, and blend in with enemy populations. The aliens had underestimated human adaptability and intelligence. The war was beginning to change in fundamental ways. For the first 6 months, aliens had held every advantage and won every battle. But now humans were fighting back with new weapons, new tactics, and most importantly, new determination to win at any cost. President Yoon-ha addressed the human survivors in a speech broadcast across all remaining colonies. She announced that the period of retreat and defeat was over. Humanity had learned how to fight their enemies effectively, and the time for revenge had finally arrived. The speech was simple and direct. Humans had tried peace first when the aliens arrived. They had offered cooperation and friendship. The aliens had responded with genocide and cruelty. Now humans would show them what happened when a peaceful species decided to make war. Yoon-ha promised that every dead human would be avenged. Every destroyed colony would be paid for in alien blood. Every act of cruelty would be returned tenfold upon the enemy. Humanity was done, B would X. The alien patrol ship Destroyer of Worlds vanished without sending a distress signal. One moment it was conducting routine surveillance near the former human colony at Wolf 359. The next moment it simply did not exist anymore. No wreckage, no energy signatures, no trace that it had ever been there. War Prime Vextal reviewed the sensor logs from other ships in the area. The readings made no sense according to known physics. The patrol ship had been there and then it was not there. Nothing in Velkari military experience could explain such a disappearance. 3 more patrol ships vanished over the next week. Each time the result was identical. The ships were conducting normal operations when they suddenly stopped existing. No battle damage, no emergency transmissions, no evidence of what had destroyed them. Vextal began to feel something he had never experienced before in thousands of years of conquest. Fear was creeping into his thoughts. The primitive humans were supposed to be extinct by now. Instead, something was hunting Velkari ships like prey animals. Admiral Kyung-soo stood in the command center of the stealth battleship Soul Vengeance and watched alien ships through advanced sensors. Operation Crimson Dawn was beginning across 17 star systems simultaneously. Every human military unit was moving into position for coordinated strikes against alien forces. The Soul Vengeance carried the most advanced weapons humanity had ever built. Quantum torpedoes could phase through alien shields and detonate inside enemy ships. Plasma cannons used alien technology reverse-engineered from captured equipment. Most deadly of all were the biological warfare pods filled with toxins lethal to alien physiology. Kyung-soo had spent months planning this operation. Human intelligence networks had mapped every alien position and weakness. Infiltration teams had sabotaged alien equipment and poisoned their supply lines. Everything was ready for humanity's first major offensive since the war began. The signal came at exactly 800 hours Earth Standard Time. Across 17 star systems, human forces attacked simultaneously. Stealth ships materialized next to alien vessels and opened fire at point-blank range. Marine assault teams teleported directly onto alien ships wearing captured enemy armor. The psychological impact was devastating. Aliens who thought they were safe in their own territory suddenly found human soldiers appearing in their command centers. The humans looked like ghosts wearing Velkari armor and carrying impossible weapons that should not exist. Colonel Da-un materialized on the bridge of the alien flagship Terror of Stars, wearing full Velkari battle armor. The alien crew stood, frozen in shock as she removed her helmet to reveal a human face. Their surprise lasted exactly long enough for her combat team to eliminate everyone present. Da-un had been presumed dead after the Moonbase massacre. Instead, she had been leading a resistance network that infiltrated deep into Velkari territory. Her teams had spent months learning alien technology and preparing for this moment of revenge. The resistance fighters wore perfect Velkari disguises and spoke the alien language fluently. They had infiltrated alien ships, space stations, and ground facilities. When Operation Crimson Dawn began, they revealed themselves and struck from within enemy lines. Da-un's personal mission was capturing War Prime Vextal alive. The alien commander had personally ordered the destruction of Moonbase and the murder of her family. She wanted him to experience the same helplessness and terror that human civilians had felt during the massacres. The boarding operation went perfectly according to plan. Alien security systems had been sabotaged by human infiltrators weeks earlier. Defensive weapons failed to activate when human Marines teleported aboard. Emergency bulkheads had been programmed to trap alien defenders in sections of the ship that could be flooded with poison gas. Vextal was captured in his personal quarters while trying to access emergency communication systems. Da-un stunned him with an alien weapon and had him transported to a human prison ship. The War Prime, who had killed millions of humans, was now a prisoner facing interrogation and execution. Captain Su Young led ground assault operations on the alien mining world Krath Prime. Human Marines wearing powered armor landed from stealth dropships and immediately began hunting alien colonists. The operation was designed to demonstrate that nowhere in the galaxy was safe from human revenge. Aliens on Krath Prime were civilians who worked in mining operations. They had never been soldiers and had no military training, but they were part of the same species that had committed genocide against humanity. Su Young felt no mercy for any of them. Her Marines moved through the alien settlement like death itself. They used alien weapons against their creators with devastating efficiency. The energy rifles that had once killed human children now burned alien families to ash. The hunters had become the hunted in the most literal sense possible. Some aliens tried to surrender, but human forces had orders to take no prisoners except for intelligence purposes. The aliens had shown no mercy to human civilians, so they would receive none in return. Every alien settlement would be destroyed completely, just like they had destroyed human colonies. The psychological warfare was as important as the physical destruction. Human forces broadcast recordings of alien atrocities during their attacks. The aliens were forced to listen to the screams of human children they had murdered, while human soldiers hunted them through their own homes. Su Young personally executed the alien governor who had supervised mining operations using human slave labor. The governor begged for mercy in broken human language but received exactly the same consideration that human slaves had been given. None at all. Dr. Hee-jin observed the effects of her biological weapons through real-time battlefield reports. The toxins worked exactly as designed. They were completely harmless to humans but caused rapid organ failure in alien physiology. Enemy crews died at their posts while human marines walked unaffected through contaminated areas. The biological warfare represented the perfect fusion of human science and alien technology. The toxins were delivered using alien atmospheric systems that had been reprogrammed by human infiltrators. The enemy was being killed by their own life support equipment. Hye-jin felt profound satisfaction watching alien medical teams fail to treat the poisoning. Their advanced medical technology was designed for different biology and could not counteract human bioweapons. The aliens were dying from diseases they could not understand or cure. The most effective biological weapon was a modified virus that spread through alien computer networks. It infected their artificial intelligence systems and caused massive system failures across entire fleets. Alien ships lost navigation, weapons control, and life support simultaneously. The virus was designed to be completely undetectable by alien security systems. It masqueraded as routine system maintenance while slowly corrupting critical ship functions. By the time symptoms appeared, the infection had spread too far to contain or reverse. Engineer Jin Woo commanded the technical assault on the alien shipyard at Gorvak Station. Human cyber warfare specialists had infiltrated the facility's computer systems months earlier. They had been patiently waiting for orders to activate hidden programs that would destroy the entire complex. The cyber attack began with subtle system malfunctions that gradually escalated into complete chaos. Automated construction systems turned on their alien operators. Security robots began hunting station personnel instead of protecting them. Life support systems started pumping poison gas instead of breathable atmosphere. Jinwoo watched through hacked security cameras as aliens ran in panic through their own facility, while it systematically killed them. The same technology they had used to build weapons of genocide was now murdering them in the most efficient ways possible. The shipyard had been producing vessels for attacks on Earth itself. Construction schedules showed that a massive fleet was being prepared to destroy humanity's home system completely. Instead, the facility became a death trap that eliminated thousands of alien engineers and workers. The destruction was both practical and symbolic. Aliens had used superior technology to massacre humans who could not fight back effectively. Now human hackers were using alien systems against their creators with devastating results. Captain Yu-jin led the assault on the alien communication hub at Zentari Prime. The facility coordinated military operations across the entire Velkari Empire. Destroying it would blind alien forces and prevent coordinated responses to human attacks. The Retribution approached the hub using full stealth systems and quantum phase technology. Human scientists had learned to manipulate space-time itself, using principles reverse-engineered from alien equipment. The ship existed in multiple dimensions, simultaneously making it invisible to all forms of detection. Yu-jin's crew included specialists in alien technology who could operate captured enemy systems better than their original users. They had studied Velkari equipment for months and understood its capabilities and limitations perfectly. The aliens had created tools that humans used against them with superior skill. The assault team teleported directly into the communication facility and began systematic destruction of critical systems. They used alien weapons with precision and efficiency that amazed even their human commanders. Every shot eliminated important equipment or enemy personnel. The aliens defending the facility could not understand how humans had acquired Commander Taeho, stood on the bridge of the battleship New Seoul, and watched the last Velkari fleet try to escape through hyperspace. 6 months of relentless human pursuit had driven the alien empire from conquered territory back to their home system. Now there was nowhere left for them to run. The alien ships looked different than they had at first contact. Their once beautiful crystal hulls were scarred and patched with emergency repairs. Their perfect formations had been broken by constant human attacks. Most importantly, their movements showed desperation, instead of the arrogant confidence they had displayed when massacring human colonies. Tejo activated the quantum communication system and addressed the alien fleet directly. He spoke in perfect Velkari, using phrases he had learned from captured prisoners. His message was simple and final: surrender immediately or face complete extermination. The response came from War Commander Zithkar, who had replaced the captured Vextal. The alien's voice carried terror that no Velkari had ever felt before in their species' long history of conquest. He offered to negotiate terms for ending hostilities between their peoples, but negotiation was no longer possible. Humanity had tried peaceful contact when the aliens first arrived. The Velkari had responded with genocide and cruelty. Now humans would finish what the aliens had started, with interest compounded over 6 months of systematic revenge. Admiral Kyung-soo reviewed the tactical situation from his flagship Soul Vengeance. The human pursuit fleet contained 200 warships equipped with the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Every vessel carried weapons specifically designed to kill aliens with maximum efficiency. The Velkari home fleet had only 40 ships, remaining from an empire that once commanded thousands of vessels. Their industrial capacity had been systematically destroyed by human attacks. Their colonies had been depopulated by biological weapons. Their military leadership had been captured or killed. Kyung-soo felt satisfaction watching alien ships broadcasting surrender signals on all frequencies. These were the same creatures who had murdered 3 billion humans, including his own daughter, on New Jeju colony. They had shown no mercy to human children, so they would receive none for themselves. The terms humanity offered were not negotiable: complete disarmament of all Velkari military forces, reparations in the form of slave labor until every human death was repaid, permanent occupation of all Velkari worlds by human military governors. The alien empire would become a human protectorate, forever. Some alien ships tried to flee deeper into their home system, but human forces had anticipated this move. Stealth vessels were already positioned around every planet and space station. There was no escape from the trap that humanity had spent months preparing. War Commander Zithkar broadcast a final desperate plea for mercy. He claimed that his people had learned from their mistakes and would never again attack humans or any other species. He offered to surrender unconditionally if humans would show compassion to Velkari civilians. The plea was transmitted to Earth, where President Yoon-ha reviewed it with her military advisors. The discussion was brief and unanimous. Compassion was what humans had offered initially when first contact occurred. The aliens had rejected that offer with mass murder and genocide. Dr. Hye-jin sat in her laboratory aboard the research vessel, Discovery, and studied biological samples from captured Velkari worlds. Her team had developed increasingly sophisticated weapons during the war. The latest generation of bioweapons could target specific alien genetic markers with surgical precision. The most effective weapon was a virus that caused gradual organ failure over several weeks. It spread through Velkari populations like wildfire, but remained completely dormant in human carriers. Entire alien colonies had been depopulated without humans firing a single conventional shot. Hye-jin felt no guilt about her biological warfare research. The aliens had started a war of extermination against humanity. Every dead Velkari meant that human children would be safer in the future. She was protecting her own species by eliminating the threat permanently. Her latest project involved genetic modification of the Velkari species itself. Captured aliens could be altered to become psychologically incapable of violence or aggression. They would retain their intelligence and technical skills, but lose the ability to wage war against anyone. The genetic modifications were irreversible and would be passed on to future generations. Within a few decades, the entire Velkari species would be transformed into peaceful servants who could never again threaten galactic civilization. Colonel Da Yoon led the assault on the Velkari capital world, from her command ship Vengeance of Luna. The planet contained 2 billion alien civilians and the remains of their government. It would be the final battle of the war and the most important. Her forces included human marines wearing captured Velkari equipment and alien prisoners who had been reprogrammed to fight against their own species. The psychological impact on defending aliens was devastating when they saw their own people attacking them under human command. Dayun personally led the assault on the government complex where the alien leadership was hiding. She wanted to capture the officials who had ordered the genocide of human colonies. They would face trial and execution for their crimes against humanity. The capital city looked like human cities had appeared after alien attacks. Buildings were burning and bodies lay in the streets, but now it was aliens who were dying while humans walked through the destruction with satisfaction rather than grief. The most satisfying moment came when Da-Un captured Supreme War Master Korthal in his private bunker. This alien had personally planned the extermination campaign against humanity. He had viewed humans as vermin that needed to be eliminated completely from the galaxy. Now Korthal cowered before a human soldier who spoke his language and carried his people's weapons. Dayun used an alien restraint device to bind him and transport him to a human prison ship. Justice would finally be served for the billions of murdered humans. Captain Su Young supervised the occupation of Velkari industrial worlds. Human forces had captured intact manufacturing facilities and alien technical specialists who could operate them. The production capacity would be redirected toward rebuilding human civilization. The alien workers were kept under constant surveillance and control. Any sign of sabotage or resistance resulted in immediate execution. The Velkari had proven they could not be trusted with advanced technology, so humans would control everything from now on. Su Young established work camps where alien prisoners provided forced labor to repair the damage their empire had caused. They would spend the rest of their lives building monuments to the humans they had murdered and maintaining the colonies they had destroyed. The irony was perfect in her opinion. Aliens who had viewed humans as inferior beings were now slaves, serving their former victims. The superior technology they had been so proud of was now controlled by the species they had tried to exterminate. Engineer Jin Wu directed the systematic dismantling of Velkari military technology. Every weapon system was being studied and copied for human use. The aliens had inadvertently provided humanity with the tools needed to dominate the galaxy. The most valuable discovery was the Velkari hyperspace communication network that connected every world in their former empire. Human engineers were reverse engineering the technology and expanding it to link all human colonies with instantaneous communication. Jin Wu felt amazed by how quickly humans had surpassed their alien teachers. The species that had seemed impossibly advanced 6 months ago now looked primitive compared to human innovations. Students had become masters through determination and necessity. The technological advancement would continue accelerating now that humans controlled alien research facilities and scientific databases. Within a few years, humanity would be the most advanced species in the galaxy, with capabilities far beyond anything the Velkari had achieved. President Yun-Ha addressed the galaxy from the former Velkari capital using their own communication networks. Her speech was broadcast to every intelligent species within 1,000 light-years of Earth. The message was simple but important for galactic civilization. Humanity had tried peaceful first contact when the Velkari arrived at human colonies. They had offered friendship, cooperation, and trade agreements. The aliens had responded with unprovoked genocide that killed 3 billion innocent people, including women and children, but humanity had not remained helpless victims. They had learned alien technology and used it more effectively than its creators. They had adapted and evolved and ultimately proven superior to their would-be exterminators. The war was over, and humans had won completely. The lesson for other species was clear. Humanity preferred peaceful cooperation with galactic neighbors. But any species that chose aggression instead would face the same fate as the Velkari Empire. Humans would show no mercy to genocidal enemies. Dr. Dong Hyun established the new Galactic Ethics Council with headquarters on the former Velkari capital world. The organization would monitor interspecies relations and prevent future genocides by any species against any other. Humanity would serve as enforcers of galactic peace. The council included representatives from dozens of species who had suffered under Velcari Expansio,